Hello, it has been about a month since I have posted on here, but I just wanted to get on and have a conversation that I've been thinking about a lot recently about apathy and the current state and climate of our young people in this country. So join me on this conversation. I hope you gain something from it, and I hope it helps you steer away from apathetic attitudes and find some passion again. I think currently there's this kind of epidemic at the minute of people who are trying to stay so detached to the point where they don't care at all, and these people are almost idolized. And I think this ideology is kind of just fostering this energy of apathy and disconnect to the point where people just feel isolated and alone, and they lose their passion and lose sight of the important things in life. I think it's actually really cool to care. I think it's cool to have passions and to chase your creativity and to chase love and know that, hey, you might jump for it and you might fall or fail, or it might just not work out, but at least you tried, and at least you spent your life living for things that you care about and things that you want to chase. And I think those things happening, and even in the failing, those things happening are what shows that we're still alive and that we're still here to feel and experience things. That's what life's all about. It's not about shattering yourself to the point where you don't get to experience anything good in this life. I definitely found myself recently kind of falling into that mindset and that culture just because it's everywhere and it's so easy to be influenced nowadays, of trying to detach to the point where I'm finding myself so numb to the idea of experiencing love again or chasing things I love again, purely because I either don't want to get hurt or I'm scared of failure. And that's never actually been me. Like, when I've stepped back and looked at myself in these behaviors, I'm realizing, hey, I've never been like that until I've been in my early 20s, and I'm seeing all these things online where other people are talking so heavily about detachment and not caring, but actually that's not who I am, and I don't want to spend my life just pushing myself away from things I actually want and things I care about because I want to be untouchable. Life's not about being untouchable. Life is about experiencing things and living to the fullest and not holding yourself back, because we only get this one life on this earth. And it's cool to be passionate. It's cool to care about things. That's why you were put here, with your personality and with your hunger and with your passions, so that you could actually chase them and live that out in this world. And I think we have a duty to be ourselves on this earth, because I fully believe that everyone has a purpose of being here. And I think if we spend our lives falling away from that, then who do we truly become at the end of our life? A shell, a robot, someone who gave in to the culture's current climate during their life? That's absolutely not what life's about. That's not why we were put here. We were put here to experience things. And when I look back at the things in my life that I've loved the most, and the experiences that I've enjoyed the most, and the people that I've cared about the most, those moments have always been preceded by outbursts of passion where I've just thought, fuck it, I want this thing, or I want to be able to love this person even if it's just for now. And following that is when these best moments in my life have happened. That decision to step out and just do it anyway, regardless whether it fails or whether it hurts, because that's part of the human experience. And like, in my hurting and in my failure, that's a reminder that I'm still alive and I'm still here. And you know what? Sometimes it does go tits up, but life isn't perfect, and we have to have those moments of things kind of fucking up to learn and to grow and to then go into the next thing that we get to experience and grow from. It's all kind of this cycle of, you chase one thing, maybe it works out great, maybe it doesn't, great, because you've learned, and then you can go on to your next thing, and those failures kind of almost line you up for your next big step. And if it wasn't for those failures happening, you wouldn't be where you are now. Don't get me wrong, I really do think that life has to have a level of detachment. You have to be able to separate the experience from your identity. So your failure from your identity, you have to detach from the outcome. You have to be able to accept that whatever happens is going to happen, but trust your ability to come back from it. Don't let that nervousness or let that fear hold you back, because there's so much out there past that point of fear that is just waiting for you to take that step, that if you spend your entire life not doing anything because you're scared of what's going to happen, you're never going to reach those points. You're never going to experience those things. I think a lot of my inhibitions have stemmed from heartbreak in relationships. I think I've experienced a few people that I've really cared about quite deeply that hasn't lasted forever, obviously, and they've only been very brief. I've never been in a long-term relationship. I have only experienced very brief situationships, we'll say, for the sake of ease. And I went through a fairly deep cutting one last year, and I found myself recently kind of holding myself back again from letting myself ever open up to anyone, because subconsciously I'm defending myself. Like, I don't let myself be in that position again where someone knows me that intimately and has that power over me to hurt me that deeply. And realistically, like, it wasn't that person that necessarily hurt me that deeply. It was a situation. That's just how life goes. People are going to come in and out. But I have to keep reminding myself that, but the person before that person, I never thought I was going to experience that again. Then I experienced it again in a different way with this person, and it was unique and different, and that's what made it beautiful. But now I'm in a place where I found myself kind of holding myself back from that. And actually, that's not doing me any favors, because I loved how that made me feel. I loved that experience with that person. And I loved how it was different from the people before. And I want to be able to keep experiencing that and keep experiencing love in different ways and different capacities. And if I hold myself back because I'm scared of what's going to happen, or scared of it not working out and not lasting forever, then it's just going to hold me back from so much love that's out there. But life is really all about love. Whether it's things you love, people you love, places you love, these things you love, you have to keep chasing, because that is where joy comes in. That is where existence happens. That is where memories are made. That is where you are formed. That is what becomes you. And I think in me holding myself back, I've kind of been in this middle ground where I've kind of lost a bit of identity, and it is purely because I'm not letting myself live in that space where I'm authentically caring and passionate and putting myself out there and choosing to keep loving despite. And it feels great. Like, even though it hurts, it feels great to know that I can care about people that deeply, and people can care about me that deeply, to the point where when I lose them or lose that connection, it's going to hurt. But again, as I've said, that is just life. And life is a cycle of loving and losing and loving again. But love always will come back around in whatever form. Friendships, romantically, whether jobs, whether places, whether experiences, like, love will come back around, and love will multiply when it's gone, moves on, and comes into its next form. It'll be deeper and more intimate and just more fulfilling, because that's the thing about love, is the more you learn about love, the deeper it feels and the deeper it chases you. And I truly just would hate to think that when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to be sitting there looking back like, God, yeah, I really held myself back from the age of 22 because I was scared to get hurt again. I'd much rather be on my deathbed knowing that I've spent my entire life chasing things so radically and so passionately that my life has been formed around love, that I've chased these things despite, and here I am knowing I gave it my best shot and got to experience the fullest life I could, rather than being on my deathbed and wondering what on earth I spent my time doing. Working? That's not what life's about. That's the thing, is I've lost lots, but I've loved lots too, and I know there's more to love, and I know there's more to lose, but there's more to love. And I think that's where the focus needs to come in. And people are kind of fostering this energy of not caring and detaching to the point where they don't let themselves experience that again, where they're now ending on a note where they've just lost. The rest of their life is just going to be in the shadow of this loss or this failure, when the rest of your life from this point could be in the light of love and passion and creativity. And I truly do think that's all that life is about, because life isn't about work. Life is about the people you meet, the people you love, the places you go to that you fall in love with and find new versions of yourself in. It's about the experiences you have that make you who you are. Life is about connection. And I think this energy of detachment is almost getting too extreme, to the point where we're losing sight of what life is actually about. And I've found myself asking myself, would I rather be 90 years old looking back saying, thank fuck I never let myself experience heartbreak again? Or would I rather be 90 years old looking back saying, thank fuck I let myself experience more love? Over and over and over. Honestly, it's actually a privilege to be able to say that you've loved lots, even if there's hurt in between, to be able to be 90 years old looking back saying, hey, I have loved so much. My life feels so full, and I'm so grateful that I didn't let fear hold me back or detachment hold me back. So I've been trying so hard to stay soft, and it's really hard. Like, it's super hard in this current climate. As I've said in this video already, it's difficult when everyone around you is kind of pushing you to stay detached, and I found myself almost pushing myself to stay detached. It's like a defense mechanism. But I much prefer who I am when I'm soft, and I found myself recently thinking back to this last person that I was seeing. And it's weird because there's been this energy of missing, but I don't really miss them anymore. Like, I still care for them, of course, I wish them the best, but I really don't ever want to hear a thing about it. But I found myself in this place where I'm missing, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was, but then I'm realizing it's because I'm missing who I was when I was with them and who I was when I was around them, because they brought out such soft parts of me that I hadn't seen in years, and parts of myself that I didn't even know existed in myself. And I loved who I was when I was around this person. I truly did. And now I'm in this place where it's like, actually, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing who I was, not who they were to me. I'm missing who I was around them. And this version of myself shouldn't just be limited for that one love. Like, I can take that experience and use it to mold me and form me and let me choose my favorite parts of myself that I can carry on and keep alive. Basically, all of this is just to say that you're allowed to stay soft. You're allowed to care. You're allowed to be passionate. You're allowed to chase things that you love and adore. I really think that that's all that life is really actually about at the end of the day. Caring and chasing things you love. Life is about love. I've said this so many times in this video, but I truly do believe that life is all about love and passions and creativity. So yeah, let this just be a reminder that you're allowed to stay soft and you're allowed to be passionate and you're allowed to care. You don't have to be detached to the point where you don't care. Thank you guys if you listened into this point. I hope you've taken something from it, and I will hopefully be getting some more videos out on a few other topics that I'd like to touch on. But yeah, for now, goodbye. Stay soft.